If you don't have quotas, if you don't have goals or targets, you don't even have a business. You're just playing games. If everyone's ignoring numbers, you absolutely are running a daycare center, not a business. I want to win. I'm all good with failure. I just don't want to fail at everything I do all day. I'm not the American sniper in business. I know everyone wants to be the bullseye target killer. This is everyday business where we get a lot of stuff wrong. The one thing I will always tell you that has never failed me in sales is in my experience, the pressure of hitting sales quota is a good thing. If it's leading to burnout or ruining the customer experience, then you're doing it wrong. Like, it can't be no numbers, do whatever you want, and then the customer experience is gonna be great and I'm not gonna be burnt out. That's incorrect. It doesn't have to be numbers or death either. That we're focused on the balance, but the numbers drive the business. The numbers drive the sales. The numbers drive. If you don't have quotas, if you don't have goals or targets, you don't even have a business. You're just playing games. And you might be playing games too. Listen, you could be a solopreneur working on your monthly sales for the month or your weekly sales. And if you don't have a quota to hit, you're just probably playing down to the lowest common denominator of what you feel success feels like. And that could be X amount of money in your bank account for that week. You are not maxing out. You are not pushing the needle. You are not really growing because you don't have a quota. So no quota means no measurables. No measurables means there's nothing to track. Nothing to track means no growth. And so I like the side of the business where the numbers are doing a lot of the communication here. And I don't think it should ever lead to burnout. And I don't think it should ever lead to the customer service experience being off. That would be weird. To me, it just means you're doing it wrong. Now, if you are driving numbers, burnout means that you're working in places you don't like, and it also means you're driving the needle way past the bar every day, all the time. Like, I don't know if that needs to happen really on a consistent weekly, daily basis. I think you just need to have a metric that is reachable, that is going to do the things you need it to do for you, your department, your company, your quota, whatever you're trying to do needs to be there. And then you should be able to elevate that number as you go. But there's always a breaking point of where, listen, a pitcher who throws the ball regularly at 97 miles an hour and in the top of the sixth inning, when they're already 90 pitches in and there's 3 men on base and they've got one more strike to go and it dials up to 100 miles an hour and they strike the guy out and get everyone in the bullpen, everyone on the field excited because they dialed up 100 mile an hour heater. Okay. But do I expect them to dial 100 mile an hour heater every time? No, but I'm very happy they did it that time. I'm glad they pulled it out that time. And so if they tried to pitch 100 miles an hour every pitch, they'd blow their arm out. Not the goal. But 97, they pitch that on a regular basis. That also doesn't mean that every pitch they throw is a fastball, because that doesn't make sense either. The professional hitter will hit it. So it's dialing up the fastball when it's time to dial up the fastball when we're talking about putting extra gas on your quotas. The clock should never be taken down to the next deal. Again, that means you're doing it wrong. You control your schedule, you control your day, you control the amount of time it takes to meet with a client. If you're a rookie, you're gonna learn. There's people ahead of you that already know, and you're gonna learn your flow. You're gonna learn who you are, how you wanna do this, how long it takes you to meet with a client, all the things. The one thing I will always tell you that has never failed me in sales is you gotta love the one you're with. And so if you are like me, and I come from the insurance background, so my deal is like, can we get 8 to 10 appointments in a single day? First appointment, second appointment, blah, 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 and it is calculated. It doesn't mean I'm gonna land everything at the exact time I said I was gonna land it. If my second appointment is I happen to walk in and it's a husband, a wife, 2 kids, and they want to do some elevated sales. And my third, I set up an hour for that appointment, and my third sale is in an hour. My third appointment is in an hour, and this one's going over hour 10, hour 20. But we're working and we're writing applications and we're helping them with what they're looking for, and we're making money. This one's gonna wait, or I'm gonna reschedule this one, because I've been doing this long enough to know that this one, I might run out of this house, not finish, and this one might not even be home. This one might have missed the appointment. Let's say it's a Zoom or a phone call. This one might not pick up the phone. This one might pick up the phone and be crabby. This one might say, hey, I'm sorry, I can't meet. This is such a that just happened. And I just left gold? No. What I like to do when I book appointments is say, hey, we're scheduled for 10 a.m., but give me a little bit of a window because I may be running over for my last call. So I'll ping you as soon as I'm ready. Boom. That gives me a little room to work with. Now, let's just say it's going over. I will text, hey, Susie, this is Mark. We are scheduled for this time. I'm running a little over. Do you have a window from me still? Boom. Either way, I'm going to be respectful. I'm going to make sure that I can position this the way that is going to work out for me right now and into the future. And that's how I'm going to run it. The goal, again, is the law of large numbers. Don't play games. Now, if I roll into that day with 3 appointments, an 8 a.m., a 9 a.m., and a 10 a.m., and I'm running over on my 9 a.m., and I have to push my 10 a.m., and my 10 a.m. is not with it. They're gone, or they had an appointment. They can't make it. Now I only had 2 cracks that day. I lost because I didn't set the day up. I didn't lose because I was loving the one I was with. I lost because I only had 3 appointments. That's my fault. That makes me a poor bearer of the numbers. That makes me someone who has no idea what day it is and why the law of large numbers works. Why do I want 10 appointments in the day? Because I know I'm going to push my 10 a.m. or my 1 p.m. Or I know my 1 p.m. is not going to be there. Or I know my 12 p.m. is going to tell me, oh, they broke their leg and they have to go to the doctor. Of course they are. But I want to meet with 6 people that day. I'm not going to meet with all 10. I'm pretty sure of that. The law of large numbers allows me to stack the deck so high that even when it doesn't work out in my favor, I still win. That's the deal. When your numbers aren't where they should be, you definitely have to do a self-eval. What is it that is making it so that they're not where they should be? I don't care what the numbers are. I don't care if it's shooting content and how many pieces of content you have, what's your goal for shorts? What's your goal for longs? What's your goal for how many pieces of content you're putting up on your socials a day, socials per week? What's your goals? Is it sales? Is it sales goals, sales quotas, sales objectives? Is it how many people you recruit? What is the deal? What are we working with, right? And so doesn't really matter what we're working with. The goal is what the goal is. But if it's not working, and for some reason you're setting this quota, you're setting this benchmark, and you're nowhere near it, day in and day out, but you know it's possible, then there's something you're not doing right. Maybe you do go back to the drawing board, but you definitely need to do a self-evaluation. There's always going to be a tall tale sign on what is happening. Let's go back to insurance. I know sales really well. Let's look at a sales pipeline. Cool. I get leads that come in. How many leads came in? 100. 100 leads came in. Leads are right now, leads are not my problem, okay? Next thing is it's dials. How many dials did I make? I made 10 dials on 100 leads. We know what the problem is. I don't have to move any further. I made 400 dials on 100 leads. Leads are not the problem. Dials are not the problem. Now we go into how many appointments did I set? Okay, I set 3 appointments. It's not the leads, it's not the dials. It is definitely my phone script. We know that I am not doing well when the people actually pick up the phone. And so now we cracked this bottleneck. Okay, 100 leads, 400 dials, 25 appointments. I like those numbers. That's a good week. That's tremendous week of appointments. 25, 30, in any industry, you're gonna kill it. And so now I know it's not my appointments. Okay, let's go to presentation. Presentation, I had 25 appointments. and let's say 6 showed up. All right, we're back to my appointment setting skills. Okay, I had 25 appointments and 20 showed up. We don't have an appointment setting problem. Okay, so this is how I identify where my challenge, and I'm very micro on the challenge. And I will put a microscope to it because I want to win. I don't want to wake up every day and try to build business and try to help people and try to put people in position and try to make sure that I meet my timelines and my quotas and things I'm trying to do to push the business forward and fail every day. I'm all good with failure. I just don't want to fail at everything I do all day. If it's not working, microscope. Let's put a microscope to it. Let's examine all the sectors of the business. I got the presentations up, 25 appointments, 25 people showed up. Great. How many did I close? I'm looking for at least a 50%. If I'm sitting with 20, I want to close 10. That's still really good. But if I close 3, I got a presentation problem. Either way, I need the magnifying glass to go to it, and I'm going to figure out what it is. Then I can say, all right, is it me? Typically it's you, by the way. But do I need mentorship? Do I need a coach? Do I need to ask someone questions? Do I need to change my pitch? Do I need to change my approach? The amount of times that I've been in a position where I had to evaluate what it is I'm doing wrong. I would seek wise counsel from a mentor or someone who was ahead of me. I would phone script. I would look in the mirror and practice. There's just things that I would do to reset, to get to a place where I felt good about going into the day to be successful. Who wants to go into every day feeling like they don't have a shot? That's crazy. No, do the work. Self-examine. Take the microscope or the magnifying glass to the problem, look at it really closely, and figure out what's going on. Once you start getting closer, you'll see the blotches, and then you'll be able to examine the blotches. How bad is this blotch, this blotch, this blotch? Because if it's not that bad, you don't have to spend the rest of your day on it. You got to find the one that is killing you and then spend the time on that. It might be 1 or 2. It's usually not 19 things. It's usually 1 or 2, 3 small things that are sizable enough that they're affecting sales and they're affecting production. I've had to make plenty of decisions based solely on numbers. Not every decision is gonna make everyone happy. The good thing about numbers is they don't lie. Now, again, I'm a very people-oriented person. You know, when I think about people, how they're gonna react, how they're gonna feel, how they're going to perform, what's going on, what's happening here, what's happening there. But I can't solely be in empathy mode 24/7. That's not gonna work either. That's not a good recipe for big success. If everyone's ignoring numbers, you absolutely are running a daycare center, not a business. When we bring numbers to the table, numbers help us understand what's really going on, period. Numbers do not lie. They just don't lie. That's good. This is more emotional, more inner gut, more mental. This is more factual. I do want both sides, very much so. But when I have to make a decision based on numbers, it will never just be numbers alone. It'll be quant and qual. I will have analyzed the data and the quant, and I will have asked a bunch of questions. And so generally it'll be both. I don't think I've ever went into a situation where I was making a sweeping decision based on just numbers. Now, you can make small decisions all day long on numbers. That makes a lot of sense to me. Matter of fact, numbers allow you to get decisions made a lot faster. You know, when you're talking about like content or posting content or how many views, how many likes, how many subscribers, that's just real simple. There's no emotions to it. It's like, how many times did you say you're going to post today? 5. You posted 1. There's nothing emotional about that. It's you versus you. You should be fixing that. Yeah, that's all. And that just means whatever, you got to have a conversation with your video people, editors, yourself, whoever's doing the work. It shouldn't be that complicated. That's what the good thing about numbers is. And so, but a big sweeping decision is usually gonna have quant and qual, and you're gonna be talking to people while analyzing the numbers. Appreciate you, Michael, for asking that question. Chicago, stand up. We welcome more questions. This is what I was just talking about, quant and qual. It is very much a quantitative and a qualitative approach to business. You need to be involved in both because both are telling the story. There's never one side that's totally dominating the story. Numbers don't lie, but they're stodgy. There's nothing that is going to move people just based on numbers alone. Listening to people, understanding where people are coming from, understanding some of the challenges, understanding some of the bottlenecks, that stuff is real. Like, you have to take into account what people are saying. The numbers might guide you to hear something different than what they're saying. The numbers might be a hindrance to what they're really seeing on the front lines. Like, really. Now, the marriage is when you put these two together, when you take what you heard and what you're seeing and what you're feeling, your gut, and you're putting the numbers to it, and you make really good decisions based on this. There's a great manager in baseball named Joe Girardi. Joe Girardi was the Yankees manager. Guy was a gut guy. This is as analytics are coming up. The Yankees were mad because he didn't want to use analytics. He was a gut guy. Now the whole game has moved to analytics after Billy Beane and Moneyball with the Oakland A's and what they were able to do with little payroll and get the maximum amount of players. There's a movie on that. You might have seen it. By the time what Billy Beane was doing became front page news to everyone in baseball and everyone adapted to analytics. Why are we putting our best hitter to bat in the number 2 slot? Because they see more at bats. A lot of time that guy would be in the 4th slot and you want that guy to clean up all the bases. Well, you're still gonna have someone good at 4, but if we move this guy, Aaron Judge, let's just say, to the number 2 slot, he's going to get more at bats in the game. Who do you want to have more at bats? That's analytics. Gut says, hey, my starting pitcher is, 5 innings in, and we have one more batter for them to get. They look like they're spent, but my gut says they can get them. Doesn't matter if they're batting left, batting right, who's up at bat, what kind of pitches they like. Your gut says go get them. Well, that sometimes doesn't work, but I think when you look at the analytics too much, it hurts. And so when we're making big decisions or we're making decisions, yes, we need numbers. Yes, we need gut or qualitative or feeling or conversation, and we need to make an educated decision. Always make the best educated decision you can at the moment and live with it. You're not gonna make all the right decisions. This isn't how do I bat 1,000 at making decisions. So use the numbers in your favor and use the qualitative in your favor, use your gut in your favor and roll with it, man. Just keep doing, keep leaning forward, keep making the best decisions you can make at that moment. You're gonna keep learning, you're gonna keep growing. We're looking at numbers for a lot of different reasons. Sometimes it's sales numbers, sometimes it's sales projections, sometimes it's operational projections, sometimes it's marketing projections. Where are you at? What are you exactly trying to do? Recruiting projections. You want to look at everything, right? You want to look at how many people you brought on, how many people you got started, how many people are doing well, all the things, right? When you are looking at this, you need to understand this. What I've learned in my time in business, if you think that you're going to put a red dot on all your targets, aim, shoot, and win every single time, bullseye, good luck. The law of large numbers helps with that. The ability to go, hey, let's take a lot of cracks at this thing. Let's cast a wide net and let's whittle down the net to get what it is we're looking for, but always have a lot of options at every level of this funnel. If we could do that, man, does it make a big difference? And it puts you in a position where you're doing the best you can to hit the bullseye without trying to hit the bullseye. You're basically spraying all over the target and saying, hey, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these are gonna hit the target. I don't need to one-shot kill. I'm not the American sniper in business. I know everyone wants to be, the bullseye target killer. Guys, this is everyday business where we get a lot of stuff wrong, which is okay. We're really looking for the small percentages of stuff we get right. So focus on that. Don't overcomplicate it. But remember, the law of large numbers is your friend. Analytics and quantitative is your friend. Qualitative and your gut is your friend. Use everything in your toolbox to win at the level of business you're looking to win at. So the next time you're taking the time to look at a set of metrics, you got to take a step back and saying, are we looking at the right numbers? The other thing you don't want to do is be confused by looking at the wrong numbers. Know where you need to be so you can get to where you want to go quicker. And more importantly, are we creating a sustainable business that thrives beyond the numbers? Because the qualitative piece is a massive piece. I'm not killing my analytics people. Love you. I'm also not going to over-index on numbers or qual. I do want to marry the two. Those are going to be great leaders. Those people are going to be able to see and hear the story. And still, they're not going to make all the right decisions, but they're going to make better decisions. And that's the goal of today's podcast. How do we make better decisions as leaders, as business owners, as salespeople to help the people in our care?